Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Onward VR Master League. I'm your host, F.lapinski, and I'm joined today by my co-caster, Snooper.
What's up?
And my analyst, Mono.
Hello, everyone.
Together, we are excited to be bringing you Blackwatch versus Notorious in this Season 10, Week 5?
Somewhere
matchup
around there.
Yeah, we're getting back into the groove. This is, I believe, the first match of after the hiatus that we've taken for Onward. So as always, the VR Master League is brought to you by the good folks over at VR Cover, ProTube, as well as Rebuff Reality. And Snooper, do you have the rest?
Be Haptic, Cyber Shoes, Arma, VR Wear, Fixit Gaming, and of course the wonderful ProTube VR. And if you're looking for a stock, pick up ProTube. It's one of the best stocks you can ever get for VR, and definitely one of the best customer service you'll ever get.
And let's not forget you guys as well. We're always glad to have you watching, but let's jump right into the map picks and bans. Mono, can you take us into that?
Sure thing. So for bans, starting with Blackwatch, we are banning Quarantine. And for Notorious, we got a ban of Downfall. As you could probably tell, these are the pretty much only long-range maps in Onward at this time. So I'm not surprised to see these, as these newer teams tend to favor the more CQB-styled maps. It's where they feel more comfortable on, a bit easier to learn, I would argue. And it's just a lot of fun to just rush in and get in people's faces and blow them away, so to speak.
Right, and speaking of which, our first map is going to be Cargo. So just as we were talking about CQB, we're going to begin up close and personal. We should be ready in just a minute from these teams. Any predictions on today? I know we've seen Blackwatch play quite a bit, but we haven't really seen Notorious yet.
Yeah, Notorious is one of those newer teams that you haven't really seen so many scrimcasts on. I think a lot of us are well aware of what Blackwatch is capable of, their strengths, their weaknesses. So I'm really interested to see how this match is going to play out between these two teams. Yeah, I am hoping for a good match today.
Any comments, Snooper?
Well, it's definitely a close range map to start off, and of course their bans kind of give away their weaknesses a little bit on both sides. They're newer teams, so they probably have some players using Quest, which obviously uses less not as high-end hardware, so they can't see as far. So the long-range maps are definitely a weak spot for the Quest players, so I understand why we're starting on Cargo, and we are banning pretty much the two longest range maps you're going to find in the game.
Right. And this map is definitely going to be all about quick reactions and really getting the pre-fire on somebody. So this is really going to see who's best at pre-fire. And I believe we might be jumping into our first round right now.
Oh yeah, and I'm looking at the loadouts over at defense, and I do see some LMGs, and I know I harp on that almost every game, but on defense you really need the ammo. You're trying to keep people back. You're not necessarily going for kills. If you can hold out for 5 minutes and win to time, that's a win regardless.
And it looks like we are going to have a round reset after a very long discussion. I guess we will hop right back into the scoreboard. For those of you who are not aware, when something happens on the team, let's say someone was not able to hop in right away, or for other technical problems, the team is able to reset before the game starts, and neither team takes any penalty from that. Usually happens a little bit quicker than Blackwatch did, but all's okay. While Blackwatch was in, though, I could notice that they had a lot more ammo than probably Notorious did. They had LMGs, as well as they also had a L8, which is something you can take a drum mag and put in other weapons that may not have as much ammo. So they might be prepared for these really quick pre-fires.
Yeah, I mean, pre-fire is definitely very important in this game. Everyone's trying to get to a far, nice, good little spot, and there's also interesting little pick points on Cargo that you need to get to that usually involve you going past places people can pre-fire. So taking advantage of that and taking out a few people on the move in the beginning with pre-fire is something teams really need to get used to taking advantage of, especially these newer teams. And I do see a pretty standard defense for this objective.
Yeah.
One over by the pipeline a 50-gallon drums,
Right.
TX map covering him in the back, and Captain Timo's on objective, and of course the other two on the right side guarding tunnel entrance.
Oh wow, and a great nade coming from Noob getting DeCrowbro.
I would like to remind everyone that that grenade sound is beautiful now. Everyone was worried about 1.8 in that grenade sound like a pulse grenade. That was glorious what we just heard.
Yeah.
I kind of missed the whoosh sound, I'm going to be
No.
honest. Whoosh.
Hey, I wanted plasma grenades from Halo if we were going to have that kind of sound effect. Ooh, solid headshot from Captain Timo on Razor Reflex, trying to move up to the center.
Joker
building.
does get Kara, and Eclipse with the skeet shooting there as Kara's body did fling in the air.
Well, it's all tied up, a 3v3. Let's see if Blackwatch can keep the
Yeah,
momentum.
Sky
from
Joker
his
is in the
last game.
center in a really dangerous position, but Mad Matt with the rotation taking out Joker. Notorious in the lead at the moment with 3 players. CJ pushing Matt, taking him out.
Yeah, that was a solid
Coming in
push
for the
from CJ up
flank.
there.
Gets
Ooh.
Timo.
Will Master Builder be ready for this? I mean, CJ Hubs, if he takes this very carefully, he could get the cap.
Yes, he can.
Whether Master Builder's actually going to look to his left, we don't know.
And CJ does take him out, giving
That was a smart
Blackwatch
play.
the first map point for this series.
Definitely an interesting round. I like to see that Blackwatch decided to take a bit more of a cautious approach. There's definitely 2 main styles on this map. The ultra aggression versus the measured approach. Blackwatch really moved forward, probing slowly. And Notorious was able to give him 1-for-1 generally throughout that whole round. Really just trading back and forth until Hubs just started going on a rampage, just going through, getting in their back line. And really, he caught those players by surprise as his aggression was really strong.
Right.
You need to keep an eye on your tablet, especially when there's action going on basically perpendicular to your position. You need to be aware, are we losing players? Are we losing teammates? Because I think Master Builder would have been, I think Master Builder would have been much more aware of where CJ Hubs was if he had his tablet out, if he was communicating a little bit more with his teammates to realize, oh wow, our left flank is completely wiped out. Someone has to have done that. Let's rotate.
Yeah, and I think from a great part from CJ is after those few picks coming out from Notorious and Blackwatch, I think he was able to get a really good sense as to where the rest of the defense was, and he used that to his advantage when he pushed Mad Matt in that barrels, got the pre-fire, and then the rest he pretty much knew he didn't have much contest. If anything, he would have traded on the flank, but he had the advantage. He caught them off guard, and he secured that round for his team.
Yeah, he was in a tough position, though, because regardless of where CJ Hubs was, he had another player approaching his position, and either way, he was getting pincered.
Right.
As an Animal Watch player, you probably love seeing that aggressive play.
Of course. Hey, I just want to see a lot of gunfight. I want to see some fast. I want to see some clutches. Those are fun. That's all about being Animal House. Just going in, guns blazing.
Yeah, I almost want to say that Notorious had Blackwatch on the line there. It was kind of looking like they were going to take it, but Hubs is really nice play there. Brought it back in a clutch like you're talking about.
Oh, we see some smokes. I think both teams must have agreed to using smokes for this match.
We're just going to assume they did for now.
Yes, we're going to assume. Later on, we will decide whether or not they may or may not violate the rules.
Yeah.
Yep. CJ does get noob, though.
Crow is pushing up here near the tunnel. No one's seen him, and he's getting across right now, taking out Timo.
CJ does get Kara and trades with Mad Matt, taking out a total of 3 so far.
Yeah, that was a bold push from CJ Hubs, and it certainly paid off. I mean, that's the trade you want to do.
Yeah.
I think, what was it, 3 actual kills and then a down?
Correct.
So that's a trade. That's a trade and a half.
Yes, that was definitely well worth it. And he gets the revive coming out, and Eclipse does find Master Builder at the end on that little cross to the middle.
What a crazy round. We saw a lot of trades and actually a lot of aggression from the defense as Crowbro pushed up near the tunnels. He saw that there was an opening and he slowly inched forward, and then he was able to take out 2 players from the flank there. neither one really aware of exactly how far forward he got into their defensive line. Good rotation as well for that revive at the end there, allowing them to get a confirm as well as push forward. Notorious had a little bit harder time as they had that person on the flank, and just I don't think that they really knew what was going on because everyone was trading so much.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to there, I think Master Builder was very, very vulnerable. He did not know what the kill count was at all. I'd be surprised if he probably knew he was the last one without checking his tablet. I'm sure he did eventually, but at that point, the smartest move probably would have been to rotate and try and get any picks around the map rather than to just slowly crawl through the center, because at that point you don't know where anyone is on that defense. Hearing all the aggression coming out early in that round.
Here we are into round 3. Blackwatch with a dominating start.
Yes.
I think he did a fair move. I mean, he was just trying to probe forward, maybe get some picks. Probably was going to pull back. I think he was playing really carefully. It's just really unusual to see a defender flank up that far, and it wasn't like at the very end of the round or anything either. It was a really aggressive push, I'd say, for the defense.
Right, I agree. Looks like we might see some very fast aggression coming out. Once again, the Crowbro pushing straight down the middle. They're really taking advantage of using the center of this map halfway through, not allowing any flanks coming out from Notorious.
There's definitely a bit of an experience gap, it seems. Blackwatch definitely knows the places to cross and what not to cross, when to cross them. Definitely some
Does
interesting
take
movement.
Sky Joker does spot the cross to the barrels.
Ooh,
Flash
Master
is
Builder
coming
just
out.
got flashed.
Flash and clear.
Crowbro does take out Mad Matt. They're on objective.
It's a cap.
We might
It's
see.
a cap.
Oh,
It's
but
a
Master
knockdown.
Builder does stop Sky Joker. The Crowbro is there for the refrag.
Will Captain Timo and TX Max rotate around? Stop the cap? No.
Captain Timo does stop both Crowbro and Eclipse on that push.
Now, CJ Hubs and
C4.
Razor Reflex are in a bad spot. If Captain Timo and Inspired Noob just get an angle on them, they're pinned and done.
Yes.
But they want to face them head on, which is an interesting choice.
They're taking
never
their
wanna-
chances with their speed here.
Yeah, you never want to fight an enemy head on. They're already aiming their gun at you, so why are you going to walk into it? Rotating around, getting a flank is just such an important thing in this game.
Oh,
See,
and Noob
Inspired
went for
Noob-
that revive and was not able to get him in time before Razor got the refrag. Timo confirms Crowbro from making callouts.
Timo, look behind you.
Oh, and Razor does take out Timo.
Yeah, definitely an
right.
interesting slow movement there at the end.
We also
Mono?
there's a flashlight
Yeah,
here
so
as well
that
next
was,
to the objective.
That was a crazy round. Blackwatch did a great job pushing up and really getting control of that side near the tunnel. But then Notorious, noticing that their line was breached, did a great job rotating. Timo taking out 2 players right there at the end, saving them from being capped on, as well as I think it was Inspired Noob inside the dark room next to OBJ.
It was.
Taking out he took out the guy in the red container going for the cap. So really great job on their part. They had their eyes on objective and they worked together there. Just a little bit of trouble at the end there. I don't think they quite knew maybe how many were up, and he was going around to check if there's anyone on or near objective.
I think Notorious did a much
crumbled
better
that way.
job that round when it came to defense. They actually were a lot more even when it came to the kill counts there, down to 2v2 at the end. So I think they might be able to pick up their groove a little bit within these next coming rounds here. Hopefully we might see some points coming out from Notorious.
That said, I think the rounds have been a lot closer than it looks like. There's been some clutches every round. Hubs, for example, really on a roll this game, 6-0.
Blackwatch definitely seemed to have a better understanding of how to close the round. They know where to move, what to look. You know, we saw Notorious, who was that, Captain Timo, sort of stutter step and slow down there at the end, and that's not what you want to do at the end, especially if you're the last person left on this objective. Because as we saw there, they can cap inside the crate, outside the crate. I mean, you want to be moving.
Yeah, Timo does take out Crowbro right as he looked away. Poor timing. Let's also not forget that this is Blackwatch's map ban during the finals of the tournament. So to see them ban a map, now play it, it's very interesting. Nice to see that they are kind of exploring all their options here.
Well, Island's about to meet CJ Hubs. See who wins this. Oh, interesting.
He hears him behind him.
Well, he rotated back as if that person's not there, and of course, Captain Timo gets the trade.
And it's kind of low in the action. I just want to say I really liked how Notorious, noticing that Crowbow really likes that barrel spot next to the tunnel, have really oriented their defense or their attack to taking him out early, giving them that early lead of 5v4, because they knew pretty much exactly where he was going to go, and it worked out just like they planned.
Over here in the lane 4, Sky Joker and Eclipse are laying prone. Sky Joker with a great angle on that cross, and Eclipse watching for anyone who might come for the flank around the east side of the map.
It's pretty interesting. And they also, if you notice, behind Sky Joker, they have a pistol with a flashlight strategically placed to blind people as they come in the
yes,
door.
and I saw that too, as well as on the last map, Notorious used it for defense on the objective. So it's something that both of these teams are kind of utilizing right now.
It's the new meta.
Yeah,
for any players that are unfamiliar as to why this works, there's an effect that blinds you if you're looking at the flashlight from pretty decent range. So if you put it behind you and you're not looking at it, but the enemy is, guess who's blind?
All to Mad Matt here against Sky Joker and Razor.
And C4 goes off on, yeah, it was on those green pipes, but didn't connect with anybody. A little too early.
Very early.
I think Mad Matt might think some Sky Joker is in there. He sees his tablet. Oh, but Sky Joker with a great peek and pre-fire does take out Mad Map, winning the first map, Blackwatch 4-0.
Solid win for Blackwatch.
I just want to point something out. In that last play there, my guess is that he was moving too quickly, because even though you're crouched, if you move too quickly, you're going to make noise.
Yeah.
And Sky Joker was able to capitalize on that and push him before he was ready for that, because you don't expect the defense to necessarily push you, but if you're making a lot of noise or if you're like pull a grenade pin, they might react.
Yeah, and
as far as the round goes, I thought it was really good rounds.
Yeah,
there was a lot
all
of movement
around
on both sides.
Blackwatch had a great amount of kills too. They had, I think, almost a 4 kill spread across every player, and CJ had 7 kills alone. So CJ clutched a lot for their team, but it wasn't just him putting in the effort. Almost every player held their own that entire map.
Yeah, it was a solid win for Blackwatch. Notorious definitely put up a fight. It's just they need to close out a little bit better. They seem to panic a little bit, get a little tunnel vision-y near the end. A little too much action one way, and they don't seem to turn the other way, as we saw with Master Builder. Just something to think of if you're a new player and on a team. Try not to get tunnel vision. If you're sitting there and a firefight's going on, check your tablet. Try and look around. You got time. You're not going to die right away unless you're in the middle of a fight. And of course, as I said in the match, don't take on fights head on if you don't have to. Always try and go for that flank. If the barrel's pointed at you, it's going to shoot you.
Yep. And now on to map 2, we have Suburbia, which is something that I'm so glad we get to see, because a lot of improvements have come out from the developers on this map. We get to see brand new bushes, the trees have leaves falling, all amazing particle effects, as well as the shaders look amazing. Something that I think almost every player is gonna enjoy about this map now. So we get to actually experience it from a nice little caster view.
Yeah, actually, this is actually really nice compared to what we were looking at before. The previous version of Suburbia was. We don't need to go into that conversation.
Let's real quick try and fly up real quick. The skybox is now higher, so casters can fly a little bit higher. Oh, I like this.
Now, players can use that using the air drone, and of course, you can always throw things that high if you really can. So that's definitely a boon to players too.
Yes.
Did someone say air drone?
Oh yeah, it is banned, isn't it?
I don't think it's actually
No,
banned.
it's
I just
not
think
banned.
no one uses it.
Yeah.
And the ground drone was unbanned as well. So
Correct.
you never know. We could see the ground drone.
But let's not forget, you gotta be a marksman. You gotta be a true American sniper to use that. Unless you're not American, then you just gotta be a really good sniper.
There are some teams that really do like their drones, and they like some of the European teams especially. They do like to have one player that brings a marksman rifle and a drone, and they will use it for recon. And it's a very valid tactic, because you need to know what you're going into. If you're just guessing at what's on the other side of these houses, your gun's not gonna be pointing the right way 50% of the time, and you're gonna lose that fight 50% of the time.
Right.
So as long as you have recon intelligence on where people are, even in the meta sense, you know, the meta position, you'll figure out where to point your gun in an order that will keep you alive.
But hearing is also everything. If you hear even the slightest bit of change rattling around the corner, you got to be prepared that there might be someone there. It's okay to pre-fire. I mean, as long as you're quick at the rotation. I mean, you got to be really aware on this map, because there's a lot of little corners that if you don't check might be the death of you for sure.
It looks like all of our teams have everyone in the lobby, so we should be starting soon.
And we did see a rotation on Blackwatch. Cash Crazy now subbing in. Glad to see him here. I know he's always anxious to get on the playing field.
What are your thoughts on Cash Crazy's insistence on using single shot in any situation?
As long as you can get the headshot.
I love you, Cash.
There are people that are very good with the semi-auto rifles, and they know how to use them. Definitely casted a few games where people love their semi-autos.
Yeah,
I question it too. I'm with you. I'm an LMG user. I put bullets down range and I don't stop. But hey, people work it.
So if they're gonna use single shot though, what are your guys' opinion on using, like, say, an M16, or just switching straight up to like the EBR or SKS?
At that, well, how much I can't recall, but does the M16 have more ammo than those two guns?
Yes, it has 30 rounds versus 20.
Well,
That
we have a
might
first round
be
started on Suburban, guys.
scenario.
Let's focus.
Sky Joker pushing it up to these sandbags around the corner. It looks like he's gonna place a C4 right here. Oh wow, that was actually an interesting place to land on, right at those sandbags. Sky Joker
The
just
objective is
ducking
on the
down.
second floor of this middle house. And Cash Crazy and Reflex are up there, but Cash Crazy doesn't, or Razor Reflex doesn't
Gets
get
taken
down
out by
fast
Kara.
enough. That is one thing I noticed about that second floor. It seems like the window sills are super low. Like, we're talking like below my knees. And I don't know any house that has windows like that.
Crowbro does trade and get confirmed by Mad Matt.
Yeah, Notorious is definitely taking it back to Blackwatch. Wiping out two of them in the first, minute?
This is a map that the newer teams definitely like to play. I think there's a lot of experience on this map. Cargo can be really hard to play. You have to be really good at
Wow,
those.
Cash Crazy and Joker are right next to each other.
And
I don't
Island's
think
right
Joker
there
does
too.
it. I don't think Joker knows he's. Oh, and Joker is taken out before he could use that C4 onto Timo. Unfortunate.
Good team.
Timo
Good
kept his
teamwork.
teammate alive there, but I was very curious when I saw Island. Like, throughout that whole 5-second encounter, she was trying to throw a nade through a window when, in my opinion, I would have been pulling out a gun and shooting the person 2 seconds away from me shooting at me. But Captain Timo took that person down.
They actually put some
just
more
called trust,
flashlights
man.
on these staircases to prevent people from seeing when they come up. Wow, they're really
It's a
thinking of
valid
everything.
I mean, in real life, sure. You know, your house gets broken into.
I would love to see how this turns out to play. Oh man,
I
this
will
is
say that's
interesting.
probably one of the more realistic uses of the flashlight we've seen, right?
Yes, more than just covering one specific doorway.
Yeah.
This one's really gonna prevent them from taking the advantage walking up those staircases, even though I would say Volk already has a huge advantage already.
Well, don't count Blackwatch out. I mean, having 4 people and being overconfident can lose a match all day.
Well, I'm talking about the scenario that they're upstairs compared to being downstairs.
Fair,
Right.
fair.
Ooh, CJ does take out Mad Matt.
Yeah. Notorious has the hardest part of this objective to do.
Right, gets
Get up
thrown.
those stairs.
Right.
Or flash.
Oh, Kara does take out CJ. leaving it
That was
all
a
up to
solid
Cash.
shot.
Can Cash and his semi-auto win him this round?
Oh, he's going full auto now.
Okay.
When the
now he
matters
is.
get tough, he goes to full auto.
If I was
I see how it
Cash-
is, Cash.
I don't know. I would probably not. I'd probably have to keep peeking that to prevent anyone from capping on top of that staircase. But being these are new teams, I'm not sure if they're still aware that that's possible.
Well, there's a lot of utility on the second floor from all those dead bodies that
Yes.
Crash Crazy can access. So whether he wants to use them or not,
Oh, Cash takes out Master. I'm not sure if Master could see. Cash is
no, he probably
Cash
couldn't.
is taunting Notorious right now, asking for more to come upstairs.
It'd be cool to see a rotation from Cash go to the corner that, you know, the person was checking when they got shot.
Yes.
Perfectly
can
honest,
get
I shouldn't be trying to go up these stairs right now. Regardless, it's kind of a 50-50 shot whether you survive.
What?
Oh,
Captain Timo saw his leg through the floor and he shot him.
Oh wow, unfortunate. That's
That's unfortunate.
ridiculous. All right, well, Notorious does take their first round win against Blackwatch on map 2 Suburbia. Man, I was really counting on that. Those flashlights really do their job.
so always, if you're gonna be defending on the second story of this, I would not be crouched unless you're over a spot that's covered by the floor. Let's, you know, if it's just a thin floor between the like the kitchen area or whatever, they're gonna be able to see your feet sticking through, or your knee or something if you're prone. So
Yep, those
I would
toes.
recommend trying to stand when defending in this area. You just have to be careful of the windows. As far as the round itself, it was a great round. We saw a lot of great movement from both teams. Notorious did a great job picking apart that Blackwatch defense, but Hubs did a great job on the back of the building too. Also, just kind of defending it for as long as he could before Notorious took him out and got that full envelop on the house.
Well, I mean,
Nice,
it's
careful
unfortunate
movement
that-
from Notorious. Nice, careful movement from Notorious there. Really using the full amount of time of the round to their advantage, trying to get some kind of advantage against those entrenched players inside the second floor. Great pickup too. You know, shooting. I think it was Hubs actually who rotated back in the building, shooting him
Yes.
when he looked around from downstairs.
Yeah, that was a great headshot from Kara onto CJ. I think Notorious are playing a lot more aggressive than they were on Cargo for sure, and they're doing a lot more pre-firing. You saw a lot more drum mags on some MK18s as well that round, so they're trying to really spread the ammo around the team.
I think that's something these newer teams are really taking a liking to, is using all the possible utility that they can and getting that ammo, using the utility, and really using as many force multipliers as they possibly can to get that advantage.
including flashlights.
Yeah, really big on the flashlights. And these are the kind of new strategies that we're going to see out of these new teams that these older teams don't really bother with.
Or appreciate.
Yeah.
Wow. Mad Matt
Nice
does
pre-fire.
get a pre-fire on this Crowbro.
And that's why you need to be a little bit aware where the pre-fire is going to come from. I mean, that's a pretty known spot. I mean, how many times do you guys walk through that spot nowadays? It's virtually
No one
zero.
goes lane 3. No one goes lane 3.
Razor takes out Timo upstairs.
Got to be really
I think Mad
careful
Matt
about that window.
is
People are always
really
looking
playing
there.
aggressive right now. I think he wants to go for a flank. Cash might go for the revive on Crowbro. Perfect timing to stay out of Mad Matt's view. Revive's coming out onto Crowbro as well as to Timo.
Now, while we're
Combat
sort of in a-
between Mad Max and Cash Crazy.
Another
Mad Max
down.
takes out Cash as he
We are
ran
not
out
all
there.
Crowbro does hit Mad Matt, but does not seem to down him.
Now, while it's a bit quiet, I'm going to notice those hedges on PC look glorious.
So much better. Wow.
So much better. So I think we're getting back to the old standard, regardless. of what
Mad
some
does
people
finish
like.
off crazy over in lane 3.
Now, Captain Timo's in a bit of a dangerous spot because as we've seen with everyone on the second floor, they're a bit vulnerable from that side because the wall in that window is so low that even if you get down, you're probably going to be exposed a little bit.
Right.
If you get
So,
down, you get
quite a
shot
bit
through the floor.
Or get shot through the floor, which I do have to take a deep breath and say, ah,
Window and
yeah.
back out. information.
That said, Master Builder in the spawn building has a great defense for his backside.
Razor does
Watching and
call
trying
him
to make
out
sure no one
though,
gets him.
so Master Builder is vulnerable to Razor in lane 1 if he peeks that corner. CJ does get off Mad Matt finally after his insane reign of terror in that lane 4.
He was just wreaking chaos on that
He
push.
was. He really was.
Need
He
to
was.
confirm your kill though, Hubs.
Yes.
My man.
Callouts will be coming out from Mad Matt.
Probably won't see a res though. To be real.
Yes, probably.
That was a hostile in the alley there.
Razor's really concerned about that side window in the mid house.
Captain Timo downs Noob inside.
That's why you gotta have your tablet out. You need to know if there's an ally or an enemy near you.
I just blew myself up like a dummy.
Oh, he blew himself up. Oh, okay. I thought
Wow.
Islander-
Why didn't-
Went behind the wall.
Hey, Inspired Noob, why didn't you blame Timo?
Yeah, I thought it was.
Not we-
Or
We
I
all
don't know.
thought it was Timo's fault. Now, wow.
To your tablet, please.
Well,
You
Razor
could've made it
reflexed
easier
a
for
lot.
yourself.
He's down. He's not out.
Whether Timo or Island's actually going to see him because he's very wide out there, and they just need to look out the window. But Razor reflex.
Oh, Timo does take out Razor.
Now, to any new team trying to attack Middle House, and you are where he was, my recommendation is look at Middle House because
Yes.
you would have already found out if someone's in Nick Cage's house. Which is a
CJ
big
using
house.
smokes to
Smoke
really
him through the
blind
wall.
his teammates. Or his opponents, not teammates. Crowbro does take out Mad Matt, getting the confirm that
I
CJ
would say no-
would not do.
Notorious is holding their own right now.
Yes,
Just
they are.
punish Blackwatch for any mistake.
Ooh,
they're
CJ
making.
does take out Noob, but Master does finish off CJ on that refrag. All up to DeCrowbro.
I just want you to take a notice that, like, yeah, like a lot of Notorious died on those kind of like flanks, or I guess only 2, but they did a great job making Blackwatch use a lot of time to root them out and really
Yeah.
clear all the angles. So instead of all just stacking in the center house, they used every tool available to them to give them that time advantage. So now Crowbro has to take on 3 Notorious players with less than 45 seconds on the clock.
And with Master Builder in that spawn house upstairs, making it very difficult for DeCrowbro to even get to that middle house unless he goes through that back door.
I completely missed Master Builder when I was talking about it. I was like, there's no one in Nick Cage's house.
So did CJ.
Yeah. Well, maybe he was aware of him, and that's why he kept looking over there. Because honestly, his biggest threat was Middle
And
House.
Master finishes
Yeah,
off
in front of
Crowbro.
He did a
Solid
great job.
defense.
Yeah, I like the Master Builder never moved. He stayed in his spot and he just watched the stairs. So if anything went bad, he had an angle on it and the attackers weren't really expecting, as we saw there. They just ran out of time and they had to make a risky move. So like I was kind of talking about earlier, I really liked how Notorious used a couple players just putting the pressure on, moving about, shooting, moving to a new spot, shooting, and getting their attention. He didn't even have to kill anybody, but he did. You just had to keep them guessing and make them wait and make, you know, when you have so little time on the clock, you really start to make mistakes just because you don't have time to clear every little corner.
I think
Yeah,
on
so-
defense, Blackwatch needs to play a little more counter-aggressive against Notorious and send maybe 2 guys straight down the middle and just lay down that pre-fire. Notorious will make their aggression delayed, providing Blackwatch a little more time to get situated and watch certain angles that might be a little bit more difficult otherwise when Notorious plays aggressive as well, because I think it's pretty obvious Notorious are playing their best right now on this map. They are not making it easy for Blackwatch. They are winning with more than one member alive on their team. It's Blackwatch has to change their playstyle a little bit here if they want to start getting points.
And it could have just been the objective. That is a rather hard objective to attack. It's Middle House. You have to get up a stairway, and there's only 1 stairs, and you have to get there. So I'll argue that's probably the hardest objective besides the one all the way in Nick Cage's spawn house.
I think it's the hardest in myself.
Yeah,
agree on that.
it's definitely a challenging one, especially since you got to go upstairs, and the flashlights definitely don't help you now. So,
Right.
I was kind of
feel
hoping that we would see a second staircase in the center house after 1.8 refresh, but
Yeah,
maybe someday. Maybe someday.
Maybe
maybe
one
put
day.
an elevator in there, make it a little fancy.
Well, I mean, we've all made maps. We understand how expensive stairs can be.
Yes. Timo,
Aggressive
Master
defense.
Builder, pre-fire. Matt does take out Crow, bro.
One guy rushing left side.
This is crazy.
Yeah,
I've
that
never
was a
seen
crazy
this.
push. Can CJ Hubs and the Sky Joker actually hold their position though? Because they're about to be enveloped.
Down.
All these C4 have all been just a tad too early. It's really kind of sad.
I mean, it's hard.
I mean,
to
it's
get
hard
it right.
to know. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to know. But
So I got it.
of course, when you're getting casted is when it never works out for you, right?
Yeah, and it's always fun to see like 2 or 3 people get C4'd at once.
Yeah.
Oh. Now, Inspired Noob, will he see Sky Joker before Sky Joker sees him? No.
But Matt is aware Sky Joker almost gets the refrag on him, but Sky Joker was just a little bit too quick for him. And CJ does get the refrag on the Matt.
Sky
that's-
Joker and Hubs are on a roll together. They're really bouncing off each other and really supporting each other really well. I like to see that.
Kara just missed Sky Joker, and CJ does take out Timo. All up to Kara, Master Builder. CJ takes out Kara. Wow.
These are some great responses, great return fire. Like, usually teams get a bit confused on that kind of push where they're coming from both sides of you, but no, Sky Joker and CJ Hubs just slowly whittled them down as they approached.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. Just stay calm, take them on one at a time, because they're not going to be that organized unless you hear a charge.
Right. They just waited. They sat down, didn't make any noise, and then right when they heard them starting to rotate, that's when they took their chance, and that's when they started to pick off each player one by one.
And speaking of Blackwatch, where is the rest of Blackwatch? I see Reflex and Cash Crazy are watching Nick Cage's house as just sort of back defense.
Yeah.
I feel like they might as well just be on their phones right now because they're just so bored waiting.
Master does take out
for something to
CJ.
happen.
CJ Hubs is down, and Razor Reflex does a nice call out to his team to let him know that we might have lost someone in Middle House.
Correct. Hey, Sky Joker's in a good position to prevent any caps from coming out, but very vulnerable when it comes to any pre-fires. Doesn't have much cover. Cash is really that good backup defense on that objective, also to prevent any caps. Master Builder is really going to have to bring out some 400 IQ to get through all 3 of these players here. You hear Sky Joker for sure. He's just got to find his way around him to take him out without exposing himself to the rest of their team.
Here comes the
Throwing a
utility.
nade, but Razor does take out Master just in time. And that beautiful explosion sound to signify the end of the round.
that's what I
Blackwatch
like
gets
to
their
see,
first
though.
round win.
Yeah,
Blackwatch
so that
coming
was
back.
That was a crazy round. I'm just floored by that defense pattern they did. They had 3 players pushing up the center, 1 in playground and 2 just kind of down that center lane there with the Heskos. And Hubs and Sky Joker were working together. They were just like, oh my gosh, they were just so together. They were shooting people left and right. One was taking the other, covering the other one, rotating around a bit. And when they tried to react to that, Notorious tried to react to that, like Hubs would shoot that guy. It was just, that was
It was like a
crazy fun to
beautiful
see.
dance. It was a dance of shooting.
And I think because they were moving around a bit and shooting from different positions, the rest of Notorious wasn't exactly sure where they were and wasn't, quite aware of just how they could flank that because they were afraid of getting taken out themselves.
Right. They were kind of using, one player was using the momentum of the other, as well as the sound and the distraction to kind of peek a corner and get the other one off guard. It was beautiful. It's brought a tear to my eye.
I like to also at the end there, Master Builder being the last one up. He really, he had time. He had like 3 minutes and 30 seconds left or something, and we used that time to try and get as many picks as possible. Like you said, we're talking about they heard Sky Joker, so he tried to throw a frag and take him out from safety, which I think was totally the right move. If he just rushed in there, he 100% was going to die. But if he took his time and really moved around, flanked, used all this time available to him and all the area of the map that was left, he had a chance. So
Yeah.
always playing to win is something I like to
100%.
see.
Hopping into round 4 now of Suburbia, map 2. Same objective, that will be in lane 3-ish, 4-ish, burning house. We're gonna have the opposite direction map for Blackwatch to spawn at, so it's gonna make it a little more difficult to push the objective. Make it take a little more time. Once again, we see pre-fire coming out from Notorious, something that they love to do. Wow, CJ just pushed in center.
Inspired Noob did the right thing there. He did a little pre-fire, and then expecting maybe some return pre-fire, he ducked down and got to his cover. So that's what you need to do, especially if you're going to cross lane 3 in the beginning.
Right.
Always assume pre-fire
CJ
coming.
just missed Kara in the center house. As CJ ran inside, Kara ran upstairs. Did not shoot at all as he didn't want to get away his position.
Yeah, TX Matt catching out one of Blackwatch, trying to rotate over near the school bus. I guess lane 4.
Right here in lane 1. Razor Reflex, Crowbro coming around the corner. Timo ready to respond. He's thrown under the APC.
He does hit Timo. Uses a C4 before he inevitably dies. Crowbro does take out Timo, but Timo does get Razor Reflex before he goes down. Very vulnerable to Kara, though. Kara could peek this window and take out Crowbro if he's not careful. I think Crowbro's watching that second floor right now.
Master Builder's got him on dialed in, so.
Oh, CJ with a great headshot on a Master Builder.
Well,
Inspired Noob gets the refrag on a CJ.
Now, will Crowbro see Inspired Noob? That's usually the
great flash on the Mad Matt and Inspired Noob. Sky Joker just moving his way into that objective.
Wow, it's Crowbro has pointed his laser on there.
Wow, Crowbro takes out Noob. Mad Matt on the rotation.
Are we gonna see a cap?
We might see a cap. Sky Joker, if he.
On objective.
Oh, and they.
Oh, he's got tablet out.
Oh, here we go. The happening's happening.
There's one left. There's one left.
Oh, and he gets the cap! Whoa! Sky Joker with the great cap right as Mad Matt rotated out of his defense. Well done.
First cap of the match, right?
First cap so far. Wow.
Glorious.
Sky Joker just quiet that entire round, and then he saw his moment to just move in, flash both I think it was Noob and Mad Matt, made his way into that little sandbag corner and sent that code. It was perfect timing. Well done.
Right. Yeah, that was a solid place.
What's interesting to me is the lead up to the cap. So we saw really good movement there. We had a nice battle line down the whole center of the map. The team was pushing up slowly, but checking all the corners, taking people out. Timo had a great spot on the APC. He was actually prone under it, trusting his teammates to cover his sides. And he was able to, he didn't quite catch him under the APC, but he was able to take out one and almost traded with the other one. But it's always hard when you're facing 2 players with just by yourself there.
Exactly. And his C4 was just on the other side of the house. If it was a little bit more to the left, he might have gotten both players as well.
Right. And then also the way that he took out the Noob. He took out Noob right next to objective on that low wall next to the Heskos, which really gave Sky Joker that opening to get that cap.
Yes.
So it's always a team game. Always remember we're all out here working together, and whatever team meshes and works well together is probably the team that's going to win.
I think if we look back later on, I think what I noticed is Sky Joker put the tablet away and put his hand to his shoulder like his radio, and I think what he did is he signified to Crowbro that he was going for the cap, and I think that's when Crowbro pushed, risking his life to take out Noob and giving Sky Joker a better chance at setting that code.
For any of our newer players that are a little confused about what happened and why the score dramatically changed in favor of Blackwatch, if you put in the code on the objective, you actually get 2 points for that round. So you can end a map pretty quickly by just putting in the code twice on offense.
And a nade coming out
you gotta worry about
just a second early, I believe. Isn't it 45 that the first nade can go off?
We'll leave it to the teams, but yes, that is the rule. There's a 15-second rule on Suburbia.
Kara takes out Crowbro. Right. The nade didn't even do anything. It just hit the rooftop, but
it'll be up to the teams whether they want to.
I do like Sky Joker's position.
I don't know about you, bro, but I'm just here to watch the game, man.
Yes. And Sky Joker's probably going to meet Inspired Noob sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
Going
they're
through the-
weird. Definitely see.
Oh, and he just takes him out with a lot of bullets, only downing him. Sky
Ooh,
Joker
and
gets the C4 on Mad Matt. Wow.
Doesn't even have behind him, just triggers it. Done.
Goes for the rotation. Might get taken out by Master. Oh, and he doesn't even get the confirm onto him. You gotta check your corners. That's what we call tunnel vision, boys.
Yeah. You had your glory though, Sky Joker. You killed it, and then you blew up C4 on a guy behind you. Like,
And now
that
the last 3 members on Blackwatch are all on the spawn house side, watching this defense. Only problem I would probably say is there's no one inside that middle 2-story. When there's someone in the middle 2-story, that's a really good position on this objective. Really, it says that if you don't go in that middle house and you don't clear them out, you pretty much cannot get to that objective without a lot of smoke. It'd be very difficult. But hopefully CJ, Hubs, and Cash Crazy might be able to pull something together to watch this objective without getting a cap on. If Notorious does cap it on this round right here, that will be the end of the second map. If Blackwatch does defend and eliminate all of Notorious, then Blackwatch will win the second map.
And it all slows down. I mean, Notorious definitely has the momentum right now, but Blackwatch.
All up to Cash. If I was Cash, I would run out in the open.
Well, he does have an objective to defend. That is, I mean, he has an angle on it. He can't see around the other side of the tank, which is actually a pretty vulnerable spot. Yeah, the offense can
Cash
cap.
does take out Noob. Timo hears him, but Cash heard Timo and they get the trade.
Yeah, a
What a
rough,
crazy
rough
round.
deal. Yeah. It's all tied up, by the way. 3-3.
Yes.
I just want to say too, they had 2 downs on on Notorious.
Right.
And Sky joked that moment, that pivotal moment. He took out the guy with the C4. Perfect. But by the way, it was so funny to watch. He just sat there. He's like, I don't want you to be there anymore. And blows him up.
Did he actually say that?
No, he didn't say that.
Oh.
He didn't even look. He didn't even like bother with
Yeah.
the fire behind him. He's just like, all right, boom.
Yeah, and he just takes him out. But the pivotal moment was that refrag. He stayed still. I think it was Master Builder. He stayed still. He waited for him to try and get that confirm. And by killing him, they took out 1 player and they got 2 revives off.
Right.
So that, I think, entirely changed the pace of the game and really gave Notorious that edge. And they, used it really, really well.
Yep. If Sky Joker might have maybe gotten 1 more bullet into Noob in the pool, he might have been able to take him out and then get shot by Master Builder, but just the unfortunate events that rolled out for Sky Joker and the very fortunate events for Notorious with that great refrag, as you mentioned.
Man, and we're waiting on round 4. Seems like a lot of planning because this is probably the decider. I mean, it is the decider. What am I saying? Probably.
I think we're gonna have round 7 next, actually.
Yep. Oh no, it's round 6. There was a cap, remember?
Oh yes, 6. We're both making mistakes here.
And
I
here we
didn't
are
say
coming
anything.
back in
I'm
the
right.
action.
Yes, Mono, you're the only one who's been right all day today, so we can't say
That's
anything
correct.
to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Here we are into round, Mono, would you like to say it so we don't get it wrong?
Round 6.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I don't have enough.
All right, round 6, here we are.
Place
We're
your
gonna
bets,
have
folks.
yes, put it in the chat. If you think it's Notorious that's gonna take a win, put Notorious. If you think it's Blackwatch, put BW.
I mean, I'll
Let's
be
see
honest,
who's
I
gonna
can't
win.
predict it right now. Even though Blackwatch took the first map, like this has just been such a back and forth on Suburbia that
Oh wow.
I couldn't say one or
I'm
the
gonna
other.
say already, I think it might be Notorious because they put Kara inside that center house 2-story, and that's usually the icing on the cake right there, is that position.
Yeah, you can get a lot of good return fire, refrags, rotations out of it. It's a very versatile place. Not to mention
C4 gets
heavily
thrown in
defensive.
lane 1, just in front of the APC, kind of in between lane 1 and 2.
Got a huge movement coming up from lane 3 and 4. We got 3 members of Blackwatch coming in, clearing that playground. We have a pretty
Interesting
good spread
spot
in the
for
center.
inspired noob prone on a UJ.
It's
Yeah,
all
that's-
slowing down.
I'm stuck in the tank. Hold on. I tried to teleport to noob. That is I don't know how to feel about that spot. I feel like it's very noticeable.
I've never seen anyone do it.
Exactly. I mean, I guess that might be where he gets that advantage. You know, very unexpected, hidden in plain sight. Mad Matt does take out Sky Joker in the playground.
I mean, Mad Matt
Wow,
has
Cash
that
takes out
angle
Crow
covered.
Bro.
Timo pushed a little bit too far up on that APC, looking into lane 2. Really exposed his legs to lane 1.
I keep seeing the leaves fall in my
Razor
camera view.
gets the refrag on the Mad Matt, finally living it down to a 3v3. Oh, Cash takes out Noob. Well, that explains that spot now.
Yeah, that spot is not the most amazing spot, especially once you
CJ
start
once
losing
again
teammates.
putting his little smokes in this corner. I think that's his little signature move there. He's done it, I think every round.
I think it was okay as long as he knew that his lane 1 guy was up. But with him dead, he was super exposed.
Razor
Definitely
Reflex is
needed-
coming around all the way through lane
Cash
4.
Crazy
and
crossing the street right here, making it very vulnerable for Kara.
do they even know Kara's there? I mean, I know
I'm not
Cash
sure.
Crazy does.
CJ
Kara
Hubs has
smoked
not
the
cleared
crap out
that
of it.
center house, which is probably not the smartest move. Usually that's the first thing you want to do on this objective, is to make sure that house is clear before you even at all attempt to cross the street. Sometimes you might get lucky, make it across, but very unlikely.
I think Master Builder needs to check his tablet and maybe provide a
Oh,
rotation of some sort.
there's a hidden little flashlight around this corner that Cash Craze might peek right here.
They really like this flashlight thing.
I know.
Yeah.
Cash
it's a
notices it
flashlight.
too. C-Jumps takes out
here
Kara.
we go.
Oh,
The
to
cap-
Master
the cap-
Builder.
The cap is happening.
Oh,
The
she
cap
just
is
going
happening.
for the
Hub's on
cap.
OBJ.
Yeah, see,
I
Master
think
Builder needs
Cash
to get back
knows,
to the objective.
and they get the cap. Blackwatch wins the series with 9 points to 3 so far. We still got one more map left. Well done. Wow, I'm not gonna lie. I did not think there was gonna be a cap that round. I didn't. Wow. What do you guys think?
It was really interesting plays by both teams. I think both teams are well versed on this map, but instead of just playing it the same way that, you know, the older teams have done it, they're doing their own style.
worried or concerned or wondering why we're talking about this amazing openness inside of Kayat, before it was two separate buildings that you're pretty much locked into a side, and you could cap upstairs, downstairs, all over the place. So it was kind of a nightmare to defend. So now
the first round starting of map 3.
Yep, already seeing a lot of spread coming out from Blackwatch. One in the center, 2 in the east, and 2 spreading far west. Both grouped up. Looks like we're having a little bit of squads coming out. And CJ, the clutch so far for Blackwatch, playing on his own.
it's interesting that they didn't send anyone on the second floor. I mean, it's so much more useful now that I'd almost guarantee that someone would be on the second floor on defense, but it's not the world we live in right now.
They probably practice this way, and they're just playing the way that they practice.
Right. We got a new player on Notorious, Burrito, with a bipod G3A3.
Bro.
What? Are we seeing an actual bipod right now? A real?
Are you gonna send us burritos, bro?
A real
Bipods
bipod.
in the league are a very rare thing to see. Usually people are walking the stocks, the Pro Tube we mentioned before. They usually work better in practice than a bipod in game, so it's very interesting to see one.
Actually, these newer teams are trying the new things. From Op 1, they do like them a lot for their snipers, and I mean, as much as I don't really like bipods, they do get the kills, so I can't argue with results.
I do like Kara's spot right here, really making it challenging for anyone to get upstairs from the east side, as well as to walk up to that objective on the outside, giving herself cover with these wood desks. Okay, it's a he, I believe, as I just heard him talk.
I haven't attempted this since the new patch came out, but can you still cap on the second floor?
Yes.
I assume you can.
With this new patch, I'm not sure. I also haven't tested it, but before this patch, I believe so. And I'd be surprised if they got rid of that, especially with the opening of the second floor.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like something you can still do.
Over in the north, Eclipse really getting close to that objective.
Oh my gosh, they got the sound cover. A knife!
Eclipse just knifed him, but he's got tablet out on the objective. What is he doing? Kara doesn't know.
Has no idea.
What? Oh no.
This is why you need to be checking your tablet. Like, even a silent death.
Check your tablet, Kara. Razor going in on that objective.
Is this a mono cap?
He's got forever.
Eclipse get the cap. What?
Oh man.
What just happened?
We got that knife and cap on camp, sir.
Why didn't I not have replay set up?
Yeah, if anyone wants to clip that, I think that might be a play of the game and maybe play of the season. So
play of the week for sure. I'm just gonna say it without even seeing anyone else play.
Yeah, I mean, Blackwatch, definitely clip that, send that in. We would love to be playing that, you know, in our mid intermission. Like, geez, that was game.
I don't really
Water, what do you think?
I think that was crazy. They did that nice envelop movement. They moved around. They got in position. Once they got in position, I assume there's some kind of code word.
I think it was CJ giving all that distraction fire.
Hubs just lit it all up, and everyone was just like looking at him, worried about him, and just like a spec ops team, they came in, knifed him right on objective, pulled out his tablet, and then proceeded to do a mono cap.
A mono cap. This is a mono cap now.
Cap.
Wow. Okay. So you're gonna claim it? No, that's an Eclipse cap. I think Eclipse deems that as an Eclipse cap now. Okay. I think he deserves that much.
Okay.
I mean, that knife was just so calm and collected. He's just like, okay.
No, he went in that room. He saw him and he goes, nah, knife. It was perfect.
That's the right decision, though. The silent kill, like, if he fired his gun there, let's be honest, Island would have come around and he'd had a whole nother fight on his hand. He did the right thing. He got the silent, went for the cap, and done.
Exactly.
Yeah, he'd just be like, hey, I'm capping. Can you give me a minute? Please.
Yeah.
I mean, the kills don't matter. Deaths don't matter in this game. It's caps and points, guys. Like, and that's all that matters. And he focused on his goal and got it. Ooh, like, that's not something I'm used to seeing from newer teams.
And we got a round reset once again.
They had a plan and they executed really, really well.
Right. I think that they're playing once again tunnel vision from Notorious, watching that only that one direction. No one watched the north, and that was the downfall that round for them, was they didn't have anyone watching their backs, really. Give them enough time for Blackwatch to flank.
To be fair to Notorious, this is probably arguably the hardest objective in the entire game to defend.
100%.
And these kind of caps that, you know, just come out of seemingly nowhere happen to, you know, even all the way up in the highest MMR brackets. So don't feel too bad about that.
Well, most of Bazaar's objectives are on the advanced level. There's multiple places you can cap on that you can't cover from one spot. It's like I said, it's not noob friendly. You need to really know where you can cap from, what you need to be looking for, and also just prevent tunnel vision. Like we keep saying it, you can't be locked in on one position. Even if you're getting sprayed at, you can't be looking that way.
Right. And if I am correct, Bazaar is one of the most played maps when it comes to Master Division, I think, too. So like you said, one of the more difficult maps to play on, even though it's not the largest. Looks like we did a
cross
really
just happened over on the west side.
A large cross from the west. Skyjoker really going to be the main defense, as well as Cash from this north flank coming around. Cash does take out Bro Rito. Definitely making the call outs now that there are people coming in for the north.
Not the greatest start for Notorious, because Cash Crazy is using a very, very well-known, I'd say, pick point on this side.
Also takes out Kara.
There's so many places to look, it can be hard.
Matt not even aware of where Cash was when he took those shots. Shooting a little bit lower from where Cash was. Cash was actually on that staircase. Really great angle to watch across. Got to be a little bit more stealthy from that. Matt now aware, going a little bit wider along that west wall to get around. Living it all up to a 3v5 now. Matt just going for those pre-fires. A lot of pre-fires, really making himself aware over here in the northwest. Captain Timo almost got that T kill. Yeah, I think he did hit Matt, but luckily he didn't go down.
Matt is laughing. That's not okay. He's just so mad that he's laughing, and you know it's pretty scary.
Well, I mean, if I had to say anything to any team that loses their match, try and learn from it. Where'd you get shot from? Where'd they cap from? Because those are good strats to pick up and start practicing. See it from the other side.
Find out the defensive positions that really were key points in that defense. Inspired Noob really getting close to that fountain.
Yeah, CJ Hubs is about to find Inspired Noob, and we're going to have an interesting firefight. I don't think Inspired Noob's going to last long in it, though.
Or he's just going to take out Hubs.
Yep. Eclipse takes out Noob, actually. he goes, ooh, another.
Wasn't ready for that. Good thing Eclipse was there supporting his teammate. Good teamwork.
Yeah. That's another thing. You can't be trickling in if you're sending in one dude after another. Doesn't
Cash
exactly
might take
work.
out Matt here.
Combat right between Cash Crazy and Matt.
And he gets Matt. Oh, and Eclipse gets the team kill on the Cash. Poor communication. That's why we check tablets, boys.
But Eclipse is going to come around Timo and maybe go for the flank. Yeah, he's coming for the flank. Here comes Eclipse.
Eclipse saves the
Let's see who gets him first. Is it Skyjoker or Eclipse? Or CJ? All three going for him. Nope, I think Eclipse might get him here.
I mean, it's not a team kill if you win. It's a sacrifice.
Oh, Eclipse really taking his time on that shot. Blackwatch do get another round win here.
Why didn't we see a running knife there? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, we might see Blackwatch possibly get another cap here. They do have the opportunity to get 5 points on this lap map. Let's not forget, we are now back in the VR Match League season. All the points you get now are really going to help you with that MMR. I mean, just because you lose the first 2 rounds or you win the first 2 rounds doesn't mean, let map 3 be, all, messing around.
The flip side of it is if you are a new team and you start winning a lot, you will find your ceiling, and it will be a rough learning lesson to find a team that actually has played quite a few seasons and know exactly what they're doing. Because, I mean, I want to say new teams can be good too, but there's just nothing to compare to thousands of hours of experience.
Right.
That said, there is this moment when you're in this bronze or silver MMR bracket, arguably, where you can try out these new strategies and you can really refine them, and you can figure out how they work. And that way, when you do get to the higher divisions, you have something new and spicy to really push up against these teams, and you have more experience and reps using these newer strategies versus if you just rise meteorically right to the top and face, you know, gold, diamond, you know, those kind of teams, that if you're not really super well versed in your strategy and game plan, you're probably gonna get wrecked, even if it's a great idea.
Right.
Yeah.
I still remember my bronze team strat on Suburbia, where we had one guy with a shield as well as 2 grenades on him, ran right up the center objective with 3 guys following behind with LMGs. He blows up. We called it kamikaze. He blows up upstairs, and then the other guy falls in with an LMG. Then the other guy, and whoever stays alive on the Marsoc will go for the cap. And that did not work.
I'm embarrassed for you, Lapinski.
Round
That
four
was like
starts.
3
Round
years
three
ago.
starts.
Okay, that was 3 years ago. Calm down. Round 3, which could be the last round of this series here, if Blackwatch get the win.
We're on a new objective.
Yes, we are, and we don't have the quick spawn here.
No.
I think this is one of the more interesting objectives for Bazaar.
Yeah.
That's my second favorite.
Great
So
smoke
you
from
have to
Sky
worry-
Joker, doing absolutely nothing.
5-man push through Kayat from Blackwatch.
What are they even doing?
They're just shooting at windows, you know?
Smoke launcher from Sky Joker, covering a
Don't stand
window
up, Sky
perfectly.
If Sky Joker stands up, he's gonna get a haircut.
I think this is like one massive distraction play.
But
Is
it
it really
down a ton
distracting
of
if
fire.
everyone's in the same place and they're all
Right.
firing?
Well, Joker's moving up, so maybe they have enough ammo that he can sneak in, but he's still gonna get murdered.
he's got to be a
It's
little
not
bit quicker
distraction-
though.
It's not a distraction play. It's an intimidation play.
I think so.
Intimidation
Yes.
play.
I think what it might, honestly, it could be a little bit of deception. Getting all the fire over here to might make them believe that someone might go for the flank.
Clips is pushing in on the objective now.
Clips, I
Clips is
think,
just
getting
shutting that back, take him
smoked,
out.
blinding
Or they're
himself.
just gonna grind into each other. Let's see if Island can hold back CJ Hubs, Cash Crazy, and
That's
Sky
my
Joker.
kind of frag.
Bro Rito takes out Razor. Kara, last one on the objective to defend it from a cap here. Unless we talk about Inspired
Well,
Noob. He's a little bit
Spire's in
too
the blue
far.
room.
Yeah.
Spire's in the blue room covering objective from there. Timo is pushing back to support. Oh, he sees
Bro Rito
Cash
takes
Crazy in
out
the alley.
CJ from the north. And Bro Rito actually going for a bit of a flank here. Sky Joker
Little
takes
bit.
out Timo.
A
poked
little
out
bit
a
of
little
tunnel
too
vision
far.
there. Yeah, tunnel
Oh,
vision there.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta, that table I feel is like one of the worst places to try and set up and fight someone at. Because your
Right.
feet are exposed, the table's penetrable, and it's really not cover.
Bro Rito with his bipod G3 coming in for that flank
Burrito
here.
he either needs to get that flank on or he needs to get back on OBJ right now.
Yep.
Instead, he's
about-
trying to flash Halen.
Cash
Take that.
approaching objective, might get shot from Noob here.
I mean,
Ooh, good angle. from
Oh,
Duke.
and that's what happens when you're
There
on
we go.
single fire.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, man. They got capped on a couple times. They're not gonna have any of that. Nice
Yeah.
clap back from Notorious. Really good defense. We saw the rotations that we needed to see from them. You know, they lost a couple people on objective. Some people came back. They had the angles and they covered them. And Blackwatch was picked off one by one as they tried to sneak in there, but Notorious had those angles covered.
Right.
I think that their distraction and intimidation play was interesting, but maybe a little bit more rotation. Use the angles that they had available to them. But that said, it did allow Sky Joker and Eclipse to push up all the way up to objective, with the enemy players basically not able to look out the windows whatsoever. So
Sky Joker and Cash.
just a little bit more of this, a little bit less of that, and you know.
Yeah, as we
Good round
saw,
though, on both
Cash
sides.
was almost got a kill, but he used his single fire shots and it just wasn't enough. He didn't put enough rounds in. If he might have had his auto, he might have been able to take out that player, but nope. It was the death of him for sure. And I think Notorious had a much better defense. Burrito really getting a lot of kills from the north, stopping CJ, as well as I think might have been Eclipse as well, or no, it was Razor and CJ up in that north really prevented that push. It was really good attempt to really run in that objective. They almost had it. They got one guy all up to Kara on that objective really until the smokes might have been enough to get that cap out, but they kind of re-rotated a little bit into a different building, which I think it was the mistake that they might have made from Blackwatch. But we can kind of see what Blackwatch does now here on the defense, see if they can hold it down and get the map win here.
Yeah, Notorious definitely has an uphill battle to get the win on this map, but every point matters. Like you said, the MMR is on the line, and you should always play to win regardless of what the outcome will be. So I'm really glad to see that Notorious is still putting their all into it and checking Blackwatch's win here, and maybe we might see an upset.
Yep.
There's always something to learn, especially from a team like Blackwatch.
Yeah, Cliff's really moving up quick into that Kiat. And now with the second story being open, you can really move farther down that Kiat as well. In a great position from Eclipse. He hears the Marsoc team from Notorious as well in that west courtyard.
Dude is moving out.
Oh, and Eclipse does pick him off.
Nice call out, though. He did tell his team that someone made it across the street, so they will be aware that there could be a flank coming in like a minute or so.
Doesn't seem like they're really prepared for it, though, as they're all still bunched up. No one really watching that that south.
I don't know. Aelin is looking behind her or him, and Burrito is pushing up, trying to take the angle that Noob was taking. To just kind of spread that team dynamic out a bit more, and he does definitely need to worry about Skyjoker, who is
Timo really is watching his back as well, so I think Timo's really their anti-flank here, watching their 6. They're really in a tough position. They can't move up too much or Eclipse might take them out. The north is probably a really good option. They have to still sneak past Eclipse, and if they wait too long, Skyjoker might start picking them off.
Eclipse calls them all out, even though he gives away his position.
Skyjoker takes out Timo, that one guy to watch that flank.
I ain't even gonna peek him, honestly.
Notorious can actually make it in there before the flank gets up.
And Eclipse peeks after he said he wasn't going to. Oh, and Eclipse does take out Mad Matt through that window. Kara's still there.
Kill another, I think he wounded.
Did he take it through the second story window, or
yeah,
did
he did the second story window. Oh, and Eclipse takes out Kara too.
I'm pretty sure, maybe 4.
Burrito has kind of an uphill struggle to win this round.
Yeah, all up to Burrito here to really keep them in this map.
Really concerned about this player.
And Eclipse gets the trade on Burrito, and that is it for this series. Blackwatch with a total of 13, Notorious with a total of 4. We want to take a look right there at the final scoreboard. Eclipse with 7 kills. Wow, that's a lot.
He got like 4 this round, so 3 or 4. So
yeah,
really, it goes to show that if you play your position, even if you're not getting a lot of kills, you never know when it might happen. And at the end of the day, what matters is the win for your team, not your KDR. So always do keep that in mind. If you're playing a pivotal position, and you die during it, that's okay. You were doing your job. I really liked the gameplay we saw today. I think that we saw a lot of great plays and movement and teamwork from both teams there. A lot of strong play, especially in Suburbia. I think that was the most interesting map to watch. Both teams most versed with that map. And I think really both teams brought everything that they could in there. They didn't let anything hold them back. And I think it could have gone either way there. Blackwatch did come out with a win though today, so really good job for them.
I still really like that knife and cap Eclipse had. I'm just saying.
Oh, it was
that
great.
That was awesome. Anything else you'd like to add, Snooper or Mono?
Not really. I mean, besides just checking your tablet, that is probably the one important thing, because like I said, it's not a it's not about kills, it's not about deaths, it's about working as a team. You need to know what your team is doing, whether they're next to you or going down dying. You need to know that. And I think there was a lack of it a little bit on both sides, to be honest. A little more on Notorious sides than Blackwatch, but for the most part, I mean, there was still some good plays from some newer teams.
Right, and Notorious, like I said, is a very new team. Hasn't had nearly as much combat or scrim experience. I mean, scrim and match experience as Blackwatch. And I think in the future here, we might see a really spicy rematch, and I'm really excited for that.
Me too. And I mean, for sure, one thing for sure is Blackwatch really came into this not knowing their opponents. Notorious, on the other hand, have plenty of footage to look back on Blackwatch for sure to really learn their strategy. I think that's one thing that really helped them out through Suburbia as well. But I think the next time we might see these two play, hopefully this cast will definitely help Notorious and learn some of their mistakes, and Blackwatch might have something to look back on now and be prepared even more for next time.
All right, sounds a bit good. Sounds good.
Yeah, this has been Blackwatch versus Notorious, brought to you by F.lapinski and my co-casters Snooper and Mono. We would like to thank the VR Master League for providing this format for the teams, our moderators Dakin, Sleepy, Mama Verds, and Cause, our sponsors, and especially to our viewers, new and old. Thank you for tuning in and spending your time with us. If you are interested in becoming a part of the league, all the links are below, all for our Discord as well as for the website. If you would like to be a teammate, a player, a caster, make your own team, all that will be down below. If you're interested in sponsoring us, you can contact us on Discord. And if you're interested in donating to help us to continue to improve the league and the quality of the casting, the link is on the site down below the video. We appreciate your support and time more than you know. Tune in on Thursday, October 15th, 9 p.m., which is tomorrow, with Vivian casting. But until then, good night and have a great rest of your week.